Have you noticed how linty fabric and thread is? And all of that settles down underneath the feed ducts. So cleaning your machine on a regular basis is key. Now we're talking about every time or every 2 to 3 bobbins that you use up. I recommend that you take both these screws out and do a little cleaning. So you need to pull out your brush and the small screwdriver. Those are short enough to go ahead and remove these screws. Once you get them a little loose, you can kind of take your finger and give them a little swirl, and those will come right undone. One thing that you do not do with this machine is you do not oil this at all. You will find that that's why you don't have oil. But this machine does need regular maintenance at your local Husqvarna Viking store. So once a year is when you want to take this machine in for its annual tune-up. But what you need to do on a regular basis is take care of what's going on down underneath this stroke plate. Now right now the machine is threaded, and if you take the spool of thread off the machine by just pulling it, you're going to notice that a lot of the length that's near the needle and fluffy here is going to go right up into the parts of the machine on its way out. So I would recommend that when you come up to the top of the machine, snip the thread at the spool and remove thread by pulling it out the needle. Then no extra lint gets backtracked up into that area. The other thing that I'm going to do is actually loosen the screw and remove my needle. So we'll take that and get that loosened. Oh, first time, that one's a little tight today. Go ahead and remove the needle, and I'm just going to bring the foot off, so by pulling it towards us, we could just kind of get that out of the way. And now we'll go ahead and get in and underneath this plate. So just go ahead and lift that off, take the plate off. Now this is brand new, so there's not any lint in here at this time. But what you want to do is go ahead and lift out this black kind of basket. That is your bobbin case. And anything down here is where you want to clean out. This is exactly where all the lint is going to gather up. This is another great tool I tend to keep by. It's kind of like a mini dust it, kind of like a Swiffer for your sewing machine, honestly. It just goes right in and gets it all cleaned out wonderfully. Now, when you put this back in, it is key that you notice 2 parts. See right here, there's a little nub that is going to touch this little tiny spring. Watch when I put this in. So 2 points go in first, and then as this sits, see how it's kind of touching that little spring, kind of rocks back and forth. Make sure it is on this side of the spring. We do find people sometimes get it in. It's not easy, but they get it in way over on the other side, and wow, things do not work well at all. So make sure it sits in there. It will rock back and forth easily, and then go ahead and put the throat plate back on. That's after you've done all the cleaning. No canned air. Do not use any canned air on this machine or any machine, because it tends to push more into the machine than out. Trust me on this. It is not a pretty sight for the technicians to open a machine up. They can tell instantly when canned air is used because it's just all over the place in the back of the machine. So definitely don't want to push anything further into this machine. You want to pull it out. Even a miniature vacuum attachment set, hook it onto your vacuum cleaner, because you'll notice flannels, fleeces, all those types of fabrics are very, very linty and are going to eventually kind of fill up this area, and it makes for sewing. The stitches don't turn out even or anything. So if you haven't changed the needle lately, put in a new needle after you've done a little cleaning. We'll put the presser foot on and our bobbin back in place. Remember, thread comes off the left side. Drop it in, hold it just a little bit, click that right into the little groove, put the door on, and notice what I'm doing last. My needle goes in last because when a foot is in place, the needle will go right up into position a lot easier when I have something to kind of use as a guide. And then use the little screwdriver to get that nice, and you don't want to tighten it too tight, but you do need to make sure that it's not going to loosen up on you. So there's a happy medium of kind of tightening the needle as you go. All right, put away all your accessories, rethread the machine, and go ahead and test it out by doing just a little bit of sewing.